In the middle of the night, without warning, without public explanation, and without the scrutiny of daylight, one of South Africa's most dangerous and politically connected prisoners was quietly removed from Pretoria. There was no escape, no release, and no announcement. Vousimuzi Cat Matlala was transferred under extraordinary secrecy to Ebongueni Prison in Kokstad, the most isolated and tightly controlled correctional facility in the country. A lot is about to go down. The truth behind the movement, what he did, and why he was moved from the initial prison. Endeavor to watch till the end, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates. When the state moves an inmate 300 kilometers away in the dead of night, it is never routine. It signals urgency, concern, and a level of fear that demands closer examination. This is not simply a story about an administrative prison transfer. It is a story about power that may persist even behind bars, about the limits of state control, and about how deeply criminal influence is suspected to have penetrated South Africa's political and security institutions. Matlala is no ordinary detainee. He is a businessman accused of running a criminal empire worth hundreds of millions of rand, allegedly bribing senior politicians with Woolworths bags filled with cash, influencing police investigations, and embedding himself in the machinery of the state. His sudden removal from Pretoria raises a fundamental question. Does the state believe he remains a threat, or does it believe he is in danger? The sequence of events leading to this transfer is critical. In July 2025, on a Sunday morning, Correctional Services National Commissioner Makathi Samuel Thobekgale personally led a surprise raid at Vousimuzi Prison. What they uncovered was deeply troubling. Despite being held in CMAX, the most secure section of one of South Africa's toughest prisons, Matlala was found in possession of a working mobile phone. This was not a dormant device. Investigators believe he was actively making calls from inside the prison. Authorities have not disclosed who he was contacting or what was being discussed, but prosecutors confirmed that the phone contained contact information linked to a police officer. Matlala claimed he received the phone from another inmate who has since been released on bail. Investigators were unable to substantiate this claim. No accomplice was identified, and no alternative source could be verified. The official investigation ultimately pointed back to Matlala himself. Whether he was lying about the phone's origin or was assisted by someone who managed to leave no trace, the implication was the same. Even in maximum security, he was not isolated from the outside world. Following the discovery, Matlala was moved to an even stricter section within the prison. Yet 5 months later, authorities clearly concluded that this was still insufficient. On December 21st, in the early hours of the morning, he was removed from Pretoria entirely and transferred to Ebongueni Prison. This facility is not designed for ordinary incarceration. It is reserved for inmates believed to pose extreme security risks, including those suspected of planning escapes or continuing criminal operations while in custody. Prisoners there are confined for up to 23 hours a day, have minimal contact with others, and are monitored continuously. Public reaction was immediate. As news of the transfer broke, South Africans on social media began drawing familiar comparisons. A widely shared comment suggesting that an escape was imminent reflected a public awareness shaped by past cases. The concern is not unfounded. Ebongueni has historically been the destination for inmates who repeatedly tested the limits of prison security. Ananias Mathi, known for his dramatic escape from Vousimuzi, was moved there and still attempted to escape twice more. Czech mafia boss Radovan Krejcie's followed the same path after authorities uncovered multiple escape plots. Matlala's transfer mirrors that exact pattern. The implications are serious. Either authorities believe Matlala was planning an escape, or they believe he was continuing to direct criminal activity from inside prison, or both. None of these scenarios suggest a system fully in control of a high-risk detainee. Parliament's own actions deepen this concern. In November, when Matlala was called to testify about corruption, the hearing was held inside the prison rather than at Parliament. The committee chairperson openly cited fears of escape as one of the primary reasons for this decision. Correctional Services later confirmed that Matlala's movements were governed by undisclosed routes and constant monitoring, even during meals. Such measures indicate a belief that conventional security protocols were inadequate. Yet escape may not be the most pressing fear. According to Police Commissioner Dumisani Kumalo, Matlala is linked to what has been described as the Big Five cartel, a network accused of infiltrating political structures for personal enrichment. Investigators allege he had enough influence to disrupt police task teams probing politically motivated killings. His alleged connections include senior law enforcement officials, and some of those individuals remain in positions of power. That level of influence does not simply disappear with incarceration, particularly when communication channels have already been proven to exist. Ebongueni effectively severs those networks. Its remoteness, isolation, and severe restrictions make coordination almost impossible. However, that conclusion comes with an unsettling caveat. If Matlala were still able to exert influence from within Ebongueni, it would imply corruption at the deepest and most fortified level of the correctional system. There is, however, another possibility that complicates this narrative. What if Matlala was moved not only because he is dangerous, but because he is vulnerable? During the November parliamentary hearings, officials were reportedly concerned not just about escape attempts, but about potential interference from individuals Matlala had implicated. Those concerns included intimidation, obstruction, and even assassination attempts aimed at silencing him. Matlala has named powerful figures. He has spoken about cash payments, senior political involvement, and the R360 million SAP's tender scandal. He has been a central witness at the Matlala Commission, describing in detail how corruption operates at the highest levels of the state. In that context, Ebongueni begins to look less like punishment and more like extreme protective custody. Since opening in 2002, no prisoner has ever escaped from Ebongueni. The facility is monitored around the clock with surveillance systems, motion detectors, and heavily armed guards, operating on a near one-to-one guard-to-inmate ratio. If authorities wanted to ensure that no external force could reach Matlala to intimidate or eliminate him, there is no more secure location in the country. The Department of Correctional Services has offered only a brief explanation, stating that the transfer followed standard procedures guided by security assessments, operational demands, and inmate classification requirements. Officials declined to provide further detail, citing sensitive security considerations. That explanation, while technically sufficient, leaves critical questions unanswered. Security for whom, and security from what? Why was the transfer carried out days before Christmas, in the middle of the night, and with such urgency? Why now, as Matlala's trial approaches in January 2026 and as investigative commissions continue to expose politically explosive testimony? Matlala now sits alone in one of the harshest prison environments in South Africa, cut off from allies, adversaries, and the public eye. Whether the state is shielding itself from his influence, shielding him from those he has implicated, or confronting both dangers simultaneously, one reality is clear. This is not just about a prisoner. It is about the enduring reach of corruption and the risks faced by those who expose it. The ultimate answers will not come from the corridors of Ebongueni, but from what unfolds in court in the months ahead. Whatever Matlala knows, the state appears determined to ensure that he remains contained, isolated, and alive long enough for the truth to fully emerge.